Have you ever felt like you're just one tiny piece in this massive, kind of complicated economic machine? Well, today we're going to zoom all the way out. We're talking about macroeconomics, the view of the entire economy from like 30,000 feet up. I mean, think about it like this. Have you ever been standing in line for your morning coffee and wondered, wait, why is this more expensive than it was last month? It seems like such a small, simple thing, right? But believe it or not, that one cup of coffee is connected to the entire national economy. Macroeconomics is what links that single price tag to everything else, from job growth across the country to what our nation produces as a whole. We're going from one small cup to the whole shebang. To really get a grip on this, you have to understand that there are two fundamental ways economists look at the world. This breaks it down perfectly. On the left, you've got microeconomics. Think of this as looking at a single tree, one company, one market, that one cup of coffee. But on the right, macroeconomics, that's the entire forest. It's the big picture stuff. Is the whole national economy healthy? What big moves are governments making that affect literally millions of people? So let's stick with that view from above, looking at the whole forest. Because if you want to understand its health, you need the right tools to measure it. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, you can't just knock on the door of every single business. So how in the world do you take the temperature of an entire economy to see if it's thriving or, maybe struggling a bit? Well, the answer is you look at a kind of dashboard, just a few key indicators that act like the vital signs for the whole system. The first and probably the biggest gauge on that dashboard is GDP. That stands for gross domestic product. The easiest way to think about it is as the total price tag for everything a country produces and sells in a given period. It's the number one indicator we use to check for economic growth. And the idea here is super simple. When this year's GDP bar is taller than last year's, that means the economy is growing. The country is producing more, selling more, and that is almost always a very good sign. Okay, next up on our dashboard, inflation. This is something I guarantee you've felt. It's the rate at which prices for pretty much everything are going up. It's that sneaky force that makes a dollar today buy less than it did a few years ago. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. When inflation is running hot, your paycheck just doesn't stretch as far. The purchasing power of your money goes down, and that's a pinch that everyone feels in their budget. And our third vital sign is the unemployment rate. Now, this is so much more than just a number. It represents real people. Folks who want a job, who are out there every day looking for one, but just can't find it. And high unemployment can set off a really damaging chain reaction. I mean, it's obvious, right? Fewer people working means less income. Less income means people spend less money. And when spending slows down across the board, the whole economy can start to sputter.
So we have these big dashboard indicators, GDP, inflation, unemployment. But how do they actually ripple down from that 30,000-foot view to affect regular people and businesses on the ground?
So let's trace it out. It all starts with a positive signal from our dashboard. Let's say GDP is up and the economy is growing. Well, when the economy is doing well, people just feel more secure. They feel better about their job prospects, their incomes might even go up, and that boosts consumer confidence. We just feel better about spending our money. And that's where it all connects back. When millions of people feel confident enough to spend a little more, it creates this huge surge in demand for goods and services. And that demand is the fuel that businesses, big and small, need to grow. It's a powerful, positive cycle. Okay, so for our last section, let's bring this all home. How can you start to think like a macroeconomist in your own life? It really just boils down to two simple steps. First, you glance at the dashboard. You look at the big picture, what's going on with GDP, inflation, and unemployment. Then, step two, you connect it back to the real world. You ask, okay, so what? How is this going to affect how a business operates or the decisions a family has to make? And this right here is really the bottom line. No business, not a single one, exists in a vacuum. They are all sailing on this massive economic ocean. And the overall environment, the tide, is constantly lifting them up or pushing them down, shaping every opportunity they have. So we've got our dashboard. We know how to measure the health of the economy. We can see the ripple effects. But that leaves us with one last really big question. Is anyone actually in charge here? Who's at the helm trying to steer this massive economic ship? Well, that's a story for next time.